The Legend of the Unicorn. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away in the lands of the never-ending spring, a king sat in his golden throne and ruled his kingdom in perfect harmony. A person could feel nothing but exuberance at the sight of the magnificent castle in which the king and his daughter lived. The majestic atmosphere of the woods spread all around the castle, and last but not least, the overwhelmingly beauty of the princess. It was pure heaven on earth. There was nothing that could even possibly attain the perfection of this place. The beauty of the forest made it amazing, yet another thing made it imposing. In those woods lived creatures of time unknown, and one of them, the most precious of them all, was the unicorn, who was hunted for centuries because it was believed that the unicorn's horn was magical. One day a rumor started spreading. Someone saw a white creature with the looks of a horse yet having a beautiful horn, and suddenly all men grabbed their knives and spears, their bloodlust and fierceness taking over them. The hunt had begun. While the king's men were all setting torches on fire and sharpening their tools, the young princess was at her chamber, brushing her beautiful silky red hair. She was the purest maiden in the whole kingdom, with a heart as tender as a rose and a soul as clean as the water from the fountain of youth in the woods. She had an adventurous spirit, and that day she decided to take a walk in the surrounding forest. Pushed by the desire to pick some fresh flowers, she left the castle and headed to the woods. With all the beauty of the trees and flowers and the crystal cleanliness of the mineral spring, she lost track of time, wandered around for hours, and got lost. She started realizing that the woods were getting darker and darker and the trees losing their beauty. The grass was dead and there were no animals around. She started getting scared and remembered a story heard long ago told to her by her nanny, a story about the dark forest deep inside the beautiful forest. Everyone believed it was just a legend, that it wasn't a real place. But right at that moment, she was thinking it over. Could it be true? She couldn't even finish her thought when tree branches started grabbing her legs and arms and taking her deeper and deeper in the forest. A creature came, stepping lightly onto the grass, slowly moving between the trees, heading toward the little glade where the princess was lying. As approaching, the creature saw the purity of the girl in front of him and slowly began to trust that innocent maid. The creature was a unicorn. When the unicorn got to the princess, he bent his neck down and looked at her beautiful face and slowly lied down next to her. After a while, she woke up and firstly got a little scared. Yet after looking into the unicorn's harmless black eyes, she felt safe. Then the white beast stood up and let her get on its back, and they both headed toward the castle. The princess was charmed by the creature. When they reached the castle and went inside the stone walls, all of a sudden a lot of armed people surrounded them, and the unicorn started neighing and moving abruptly. The princess got down on the ground and started screaming and telling the men that this creature saved her life and brought her back to the castle. The king came in. She explained everything to him. He cried and told her that everyone had been worried about her. He hugged his precious daughter and looked at the terrified beast. Not until then did he realize that the unicorn is the purest and most innocent creatures of all. During the feast that night, it was pronounced that the unicorn is a sacred animal, and that from that point on, it was forbidden to hunt a unicorn. So that's the legend of the unicorn. That's the end. Unicorns are magical creatures known for purity, and sometimes people claim that they see a unicorn in a forest, or that they get a glimpse of a unicorn in a forest. Very special people.